Right now at 9, the Gordon Parks Museum in Fort Scott is celebrating Black History Month in a special way. We'll take you there. Plus, we're heading to Columbus for a chili feed with some special entertainment. And
Ukraine's president calling for urgent dialogue with the Kremlin with his country surrounded by Russian forces. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Lviv, Ukraine. I'll have the details coming up.
The KOAM News at 9 starts right now. And thank you for joining us. The Gordon Parks Museum in Fort Scott celebrated Black History Month today with a film and open mic event. The museum featured a screening of the movie Many Fires, this time The Million at the Danny and Willa Ellis Family Arts Center. Now, prior to the screening, director Jason R.A. Foster and poet Michael Quest Moore spoke about their film and answered some questions. The open mic gave people the opportunity to perform songs, music, poetry, beats, art, and a lot more.
So we're here today for the screening of our film, Many Fires, this time, We the 100 Million. It's a poetic documentary following the 100 million people and counting who live under economic insecurity in the United States.
The Fort Scott Community College Endowment Foundation and the Fort Scott Area Chamber of Commerce sponsored the event. Center Christian Church in Columbus hosted their annual chili feed today. The free event boasts, of course, homemade chili, and it welcomed magician Mike Bliss to add some entertainment to the feed.
Really just an outreach opportunity to get people. I mean, our church is located in the middle of nowhere, really, and so get us on the map with people in the community, let them know that we care about them, that we would like to be able to reach out and develop relationship with them, and just a fun atmosphere to be able to do that.
Of course, having Bliss there, he's performed across the country, including an appearance on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. Secondhand shopping used to mean going to your local thrift store, but nowadays, well, you can do that online. So you're surfing along and find a one-of-a-kind vintage item that's in great shape and selling for a reasonable price. Deal of a lifetime, right? Stephanie Garland with the Better Business Bureau says not so fast. The BBB urges you to be very cautious when shopping online for these vintage and secondhand items due to an increasing number of scam reports. These include people ordering their vintage item online and either getting a knockoff or, in some cases, nothing at all. But Garland says there are some things you can do to protect yourself.
Scammers will target you with ads, and they will know what kinds of things you're going to click on. And they're going to go after your money as much as they can, unfortunately. Also, make sure you look at every single part of the website before you purchase. We've talked before here about going to the About Us page on the website, making sure it's built out, pulling up the address that's there in Google Maps, making sure it's not a different location that doesn't make sense, such as an empty field.
Garland adds it's best to pay with your credit card for online purchases because it has the most federal protections compared to other payment methods like your debit card or services like Google Play. It was absolutely spring-like beautiful outside. Nick Kelly joins us.
And quite windy too, Chris, but it was that south wind that really helped us out with temperatures today. We looked quiet for 7th and range on the last check, but as we pop up the numbers, 43, a little warmer than I expected to start the overnight hours out, and topping out around 67 degrees, 15 above our normal high of 52 degrees. We kept quiet underneath mostly sunny skies all day long, but now we're starting to see signs of cloud cover building on top of the region. And certainly down to the south, where the strong south wind is finally pulling in more moisture from the Gulf ahead of our next cold front parked just to the north. That won't come into play until tomorrow night and Tuesday with our next shot for any rain and thunderstorms. But in the short term, we'll just have partly cloudy skies picking up overnight. We'll just bounce back and forth throughout the day tomorrow between partly sunny and mostly cloudy skies. Given that and the strong south wind in action once again, we'll go from the upper 40s to start the morning out, Chris, to highs here 72. Not only am I watching thunderstorms in the forecast, but a potential winter storm once again on the horizon. We'll break it all down here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Russian troop movements stoking fears an invasion of Ukraine could come within days. Western leaders hope Russian President Vladimir Putin will ultimately back down, but are bracing for what could potentially be the largest war in Europe since World War II. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson has the latest on the situation.
Russia extending military drills in Belarus near Ukraine's border. Western leaders say Russia's in position to attack at any moment, with about 150,000 troops surrounding the country. The capital city, Kyiv, a 2-hour drive from where Russian forces are stationed. Residents there are now training in self-defense and first aid to be prepared for whatever comes next.
I have a family and children. If I don't protect my kids, then who will? We have to understand. If not us, nobody will do it for us. To protect your family, you have to protect your country.
Eastern Ukraine under constant shelling for 2 days, near the dividing line between Ukrainian soldiers and pro-Russian separatists. People living in Donetsk are getting out while they still can. Russia claims its forces will leave Belarus and return to Russia eventually. But the U.S. and its European allies believe Russia will try to create an excuse to invade.
We're seeing false flag operations taking place in eastern Ukraine, the manufacturing of provocations and justifications for Russia to go in.
We're talking about the potential for war in Europe. We believe it is in the best interest of all that there is a diplomatic end to this moment.
Ukraine's president has called for a meeting with Putin to resolve the crisis. So far, there's been no response from the Kremlin. In Lviv, Ukraine, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Back home, scores of people gathered in Washington, D.C. today to express their support for the people of Ukraine. The country has been at the center of global attention as the world waits to see if Russian President Vladimir Putin will launch an invasion. During the Stand with Ukraine rally, demonstrators called on President Biden to take a harder line against the Russian president. The United States and other Western countries have threatened to impose severe economic sanctions on Russia if Putin goes ahead with a plan to invade Ukraine. Wildfires in Argentina took out huge swaths of forest, greatly affecting a national park's wildlife habitat. The devastating fires in northeastern Argentina consumed about 5,000 square miles and destroyed about 10% of forest in the Corrientes region. The province governor declared the area a disaster zone. Firefighters are still battling long lines of flames. Wildfires are threatening wildlife in the country's Iberia National Park, which is one of the nation's largest ecosystems. Many animals were poisoned by smoke or fled in search of new living areas. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Captain Billy Brooks served in the Army during Vietnam, his hometown, Hume, Missouri. We're proud to recognize Captain Billy Brooks, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, if you want to learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own, you can do that all at KOAMNewsNow.com. Still to come, why American Airlines is cutting back some flights this summer.
Even though we kept dry today, there's plenty to get to in our updated forecast. So let's just dive right in, starting off with the numbers we saw at Joplin Regional over the past 36 hours. Certainly tells a tale of the warming trend continuing. Lower the middle 50s yesterday, only dropped back into the lower to middle 40s this morning, and look at that, pushing into the mid to upper 60s for highs. And I think we'll go into the 70s tomorrow for a mild start to the work week and school week. Then we're just going to go all over the place with the way the rest of this week is shaping up. But for now, 7th range line looking good. The numbers at 9 o'clock showing us a 53 at the airport, south wind to 10. Humidity, it is starting to eventually climb back up at 43%, but the numbers aren't too terrible outside. We have temperatures at the top of the 9 o'clock hour from the upper 40s to about the mid 50s. Eventually, we're all going to drop back into the upper 40s to lower 50s, and that's as cold as it's going to get, if you want to call it cold, as we go throughout the course of the night. It's all because of the south wind. It was stronger throughout the day at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And we're not even talking about the gusts that at times push near 30 or 35 miles per hour. We might have backed down on the gusts and the wind speeds for now, but we are going to see that breeze ramp back up overnight and certainly into the day tomorrow ahead of our next storm system. For now, though, mostly clear skies, waiting for more cloud cover to build as a southerly wind ahead of our cold front pulls in more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. This is just one system I'm watching, though, as we go throughout the course of the week. It's not this upper level low. This is just going to aid in any rain or thunderstorm chances with the front coming in, certainly tomorrow night and Tuesday. But this upper low that was sitting on top of Vancouver the other day, working into the Pacific Northwest, that's one we're watching really closely for potentially our next winter storm to come at us. In the short term, though, mostly clear skies right now. You can see as we go through the overnight, temperatures don't fall very much. In fact, we'll even warm a bit by sunrise with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And you can see how everybody's in the upper 40s to about the lower 50s. And at times throughout the day, we'll just bounce back and forth between partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies ahead of the approaching cold front. And with that south wind in charge once again, we'll go from 49 in the morning, 67 by noon, pushing highs here 72 degrees with that south wind at 15 to 25. But we may start Monday evening out on a quiet note. But ahead of the approaching cold front, the upper level energy comes right on in. Have a look at late Monday night, Tuesday morning. We'll have to watch this complex of showers and even thunderstorms. I do not expect these to be severe. I think the better shot for that is going to be just south and east of the region, but we'll still watch these for not only heavy rain, but for some wind gusts and potentially a couple of large hailstones. But again, that's just one system we got to keep an eye on. This upper level wave starts to send its energy our way by Wednesday afternoon. That'll give us snow and sleet chances with the way things are looking late Wednesday, and then freezing rain, sleet, and snow chances throughout the day on Thursday before we dry out by Friday. Now, I know there has been some rumors going around about how this system will unfold, but here's how we see it. We're definitely confident about the timing. Wednesday afternoon and evening, that's when snow and sleet chances will pick up. Thursday looks like periods of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, but we still have time to fine tune and watch the forecast for the next few days, because any slight change in the temperatures with this setup is going to make a big impact as to who sees what and how much. We're definitely watching that for you as we go throughout the extended forecast. 72 on your President's Day. We're dry for the day. The thunderstorm chances Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then behind that cold front, we drop into the 30s throughout the day on Tuesday, and then we stay cold through the middle of the week. That will set us up for our potential winter storm. We're watching closely. Chris?
All right, Nick, thank you. Up next, a key automaker is moving ahead with a new electric production option in a southern state. American Airlines is cutting back some international summer travel because of plane supply delays. The company says it will temporarily stop service between Seattle and London, Los Angeles and Sydney, and Dallas and Santiago, Chile. Other flights to Tel Aviv and Santiago will also be curtailed. Only 10 of 13 planned Boeing 787 deliveries will come this year due to some production flaws. Other summer plans for Hong Kong, Edinburgh, Scotland, Shannon, Ireland, and Prague were already canceled in December. Only about 80% of Americans' pre-pandemic summer 2019 schedule will operate. A key automaker is moving ahead with a new electric production option in a southern state. Nissan's chief operating officer, Ashwani Gupta, says Nissan is investing $500 million in its Canton, Mississippi plant to convert it to an electric vehicle manufacturing facility. The automaker is planning 2 new electric models starting in 2025 as part of an $18 billion fleet expansion through 2030. Nissan will retrain employees and add 2,000 more jobs. The decision comes after the expectation of a full recovery from the semiconductor chip shortage isn't soon. The dollar store chain Family Dollar is voluntarily recalling several of its products that were shipped to more than 400 stores. This comes after an FDA investigation uncovered a rodent infestation at a distribution center in Arkansas. In addition to the recall, Family Dollar on Saturday also temporarily closed the 404 affected locations, according to the New York Times. The stores are located across Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and Tennessee. We've got more news coming your way.
Surprising news out of Buckingham Palace on Sunday. I'm Christina Coleman. I'll have the details coming up.
Emergency rooms are seeing an uptick in adolescents with eating disorders. The CDC releasing data Friday showing ER visits related to eating disorders have doubled compared to before the pandemic. Trips to the emergency room due to self-harm injuries among people 12 to 17 rose by 50% or more over figures from 2019. Visits related to symptoms of mental health disorders within the same age group also rose up to 60% over the same period. The spikes occurred despite an overall drop in ER visits among children and teens 17 and younger nationally since the start of the pandemic. A new study says that when it comes to spreading misinformation and harmful rhetoric online, celebrities are more often the culprits than bots. Researchers at the University of Edinburgh say they found comments and messages posted online by the automated bots held a lot less sway with readers than comments posted by celebrities on the same topics. Study's authors also found tweets that are shared by people with more than 10,000 followers appear to have the biggest influence on people's opinions. The researchers say the results of the study suggest concerns that bots are spreading harmful messages on social media might actually be overrated. The study is published in the journal Social Network Analysis and Mining. More than 3 in 5 parents in the United States believe they spend more time with their children than their own parents spent with them when they were growing up. That's according to a new survey of 2,000 parents. The study was carried out by the market research company OnePoll on behalf of Baby Magic. The parents reported spending an average of almost 5 hours per day with their kids, and 10% of them said they actually spend 8 hours or more per day with their sons and daughters. The respondents also said it's more difficult to raise a child today than when they were growing up because of the emergence of social media, more parents working full-time jobs, and the rise of technology. Almost 70% of those polled admitted they feel like they rely too much on iPads and other tech devices to keep their kids occupied. Messages of goodwill and support from across the UK on Sunday after the royal family confirms that Queen Elizabeth tested positive for COVID-19. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has that story.
A surprising announcement from Buckingham Palace on Sunday with the news that Queen Elizabeth has tested positive for COVID-19. The palace saying in a statement that she is experiencing mild symptoms but expects to continue working. Britain's longest reigning monarch, the Queen, is fully vaccinated and has had a booster shot. She's been in robust health for most of her reign but did spend a night in the hospital in October. Her treatment will likely include antiviral drugs that have been approved in the UK to treat COVID-19.
Any person of that age will need to be monitored fairly carefully. And also, I think, given antivirals, we do know that if you give antivirals early on in an illness, you can substantially reduce the risk of severe disease.
Both the Queen's eldest son, Prince Charles, and his wife, Camilla, contracted the virus recently. Charles has since returned to work. There are also believed to be several recent cases at Windsor Castle where the Queen is staying. Since the announcement, she's received an outpouring of well wishes from across the UK.
She's an icon. She's an icon of the UK. She's epitome of the UK in some ways. I mean, most people in the country have never known any monarch other than her, so she embodies the UK in so many ways.
She has to get better. We can't afford to lose her just yet. I think that, obviously with her Platinum Jubilee, I think we want her to recover very quickly, and we want to see her back to herself again as soon as possible.
The Queen celebrated 70 years on the throne this month, and she will turn 96 in April. Christina Coleman, Fox News.
We're wrapping up this half hour of the News at 9 with a Valentine's Day gift that can't be beat. All right, this guy, he just made everybody's life significantly harder, including you, Cameron, so I want you to pay attention. A Virginia man has set the bar for Valentine's Day very high. The man gifted his wife, Maria Chicas, a scratch-off lottery ticket. It was worth a whopping $10 million. Now, Chicas says she was skeptical at first, but after closer examination, she discovered the ticket was indeed a top prize winner. The Virginia Lottery says the ticket was the final $10 million winner for the Extreme Millions game, which officials say has now ended. Seems the Chicas family weren't the only ones celebrating their win. The In-N-Out Mart store where the ticket was bought was awarded $50,000 for selling it. So that makes it even harder. Not only did she get $10 million, in a way the husband gifted the store $50,000. I don't know how we're gonna be able to beat that. Cameron, do you have any ideas? Is there a way to beat that? I don't think there is. No, he says there's not. I agree. Well, I've got a way we can beat it for you all locally here. It's 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports that's going to come up. Up next, white barricades and police checkpoints appear to be stationed around Capitol Hill. Plus, police held a procession for 2 officers after their chopper crashed in California. And a French modeling agent with ties to the late financier Jeffrey Epstein is found dead in his Paris jail cell. Welcome back. Barricades and police checkpoints appear to be stationed around Capitol Hill to prevent an Ottawa-style freedom convoy. Several large trucks and other vehicles could be seen blocking streets around the Capitol on Sunday. Capitol Police tell Fox News streets were not blocked and they were unfamiliar with any street closures. The so-called Freedom Convoy in Ottawa clogged the streets, interrupted trade, and caused economic damage on both sides of the border. Hundreds of trucks and protesters occupied the streets around Parliament for more than 3 weeks to protest coronavirus mask mandates. Police held a procession for 2 officers after their chopper crashed in California. The procession of police and emergency response vehicles honored Nicholas Vela, a 14-year veteran of the force who lost his life in the crash. Chopper with the Huntington Beach Police Department that they were riding in crashed in the harbor of nearby Newport Beach. The crash took place while they were responding to a call in Newport Beach. National Transportation Safety Board and the Orange County Sheriff's Office will investigate the cause of the crash. A French modeling agent with ties to late financier Jeffrey Epstein is found dead in his Paris jail cell on Saturday. 76-year-old Jean-Luc Brunel, who was detained in December 2020 as part of an inquiry into allegations of rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment, was found hanged in his jail cell in the Saint-Nate prison. Brunel, who co-founded MC2 Model Management with Epstein, had denied any wrongdoing related to his association with the convicted sex offender. An investigation into his death is ongoing. The nature in which he died is seemingly identical to the nature of how Epstein died. He was found hanging in his New York jail cell in the summer of 2019. Reports say multiple people were shot at a demonstration in Oregon protesting the death of Amir Locke. The violence unfolded near Normandale Park in Portland Saturday night. Police said 1 person died and 3 others suffered injuries. 2 people are reportedly in custody. The shooting came just before a rally was due to start at the park protesting the police-involved shooting death of Amir Locke. Locke was sleeping when he was fatally shot by a SWAT team enacting a no-knock warrant on a Minneapolis residence. Multiple police officers have been shot across the United States in the last few months as violent crime surges from coast to coast. The shooting of an officer in one county in North Carolina prompted the local sheriff to contact President Biden. Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff takes a look.
The sheriff for Mecklenburg County says he reached out to the Biden administration following the emotional incident. He also shared that his deputy is recovering well. That is despite being shot at multiple times, hit at least once by a man he had pulled over in Northeast Charlotte. Sheriff's Deputy Dejan Wims returned fire, and both he and the suspect landed in the hospital.
This is the type of world that we live in. We just had a conversation with the White House and some other sheriffs about the violence that's in our cities each and every day.
Newly released body camera footage out of Phoenix shows part of a February 11th attack where 9 officers were injured after responding to a call and a man coaxed them in. Just a warning, this is hard to watch.
Come on. Come on. You're sucking our own blood. Come on, bro. Come on.
Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
Who's you?
I've been shot. No.
According to investigators, the suspect, Morris Jones, unleashed again when additional units tried to rescue a baby girl from the property. The wife of an officer shot over the summer in Albuquerque sounded off on all this week.
It's steadily gotten worse over the last 2 years, and it's because of the politics. It's the choices that they've made to throw our officers away.
According to the FBI, last year, 73 officers were intentionally killed in the line of duty. That is a 59% increase from the year before. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Later on the news at 9, a grandfather in South Carolina is behind bars after his grandson brings a gun to school.
Even though we kept dry today, there's plenty to get to in our updated forecast. So let's just dive right in, starting off with the numbers we saw dropping regional over the past 36 hours. Certainly tells a tale of the warming trend continuing. Lower the middle 50s yesterday, only dropped back into the lower to middle 40s this morning, and look at that, pushing into the mid to upper 60s for highs, and I think we'll go into the 70s tomorrow for a mild start to the work week and school week. Then we're just going to go all over the place with the way the rest of this week is shaping up. But for now, 7th range line looking good. The numbers at 9 o'clock showing us a 53 at the airport, south wind to 10. Humidity, it is starting to eventually climb back up at 43%, but the numbers aren't too terrible outside. We have temperatures at the top of the 9 o'clock hour from the upper 40s to about the mid 50s. Eventually, we're all going to drop back into the upper 40s to lower 50s, and that's as cold as it's going to get, if you want to call it cold, as we go throughout the course of the night. It's all because of the south wind. It was stronger throughout the day at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And we're not even talking about the gusts that at times push near 30 or 35 miles per hour. We might have backed down on the gusts and the wind speeds for now, but we are going to see that breeze ramp back up overnight and certainly into the day tomorrow ahead of our next storm system. For now, though, mostly clear skies, waiting for more cloud cover to build as a southerly wind ahead of our cold front pulls in more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. This is just one system I'm watching, though, as we go throughout the course of the week. It's not this upper level low. This is just going to aid in any rain or thunderstorm chances with the front coming in, certainly tomorrow night and Tuesday. But this upper low that was sitting on top of Vancouver the other day, working into the Pacific Northwest, that's one we're watching really closely for potentially our next winter storm to come at us. In the short term, though, mostly clear skies right now. You can see as we go through the overnight, temperatures don't fall very much. In fact, we'll even warm a bit by sunrise with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And you can see how everybody's in the upper 40s to about the lower 50s. And at times throughout the day, we'll just bounce back and forth between partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies ahead of the approaching cold front. And with that south wind in charge once again, we'll go from 49 in the morning, 67 by noon, pushing highs near 72 degrees with that south wind at 15 to 25. But we may start Monday evening out on a quiet note. But ahead of the approaching cold front, the upper level energy comes right on in. Have a look at late Monday night, Tuesday morning. We'll have to watch this complex of showers and even thunderstorms. I do not expect these to be severe. I think the better shot for that is going to be just south and east of the region, but we'll still watch these for not only heavy rain, but for some wind gusts and potentially a couple of large hailstones. But again, that's just one system we got to keep an eye on. This upper level wave starts to send its energy our way by Wednesday afternoon. That'll give us snow and sleet chances with the way things are looking late Wednesday, and then freezing rain, sleet, and snow chances throughout the day on Thursday before we dry out by Friday. Now, I know there has been some rumors going around about how this system will unfold, but here's how we see it. We're definitely confident about the timing. Wednesday afternoon and evening, that's when snow and sleet chances will pick up. Thursday looks like periods of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, but we still have time to fine tune and watch the forecast for the next few days, because any slight change in the temperatures with this setup is going to make a big impact as to who sees what and how much. We're definitely watching that for you as we go throughout the extended forecast. 72 on your President's Day. We're dry for the day. The thunderstorm chances Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then behind that cold front, we drop into the 30s throughout the day on Tuesday, and then we stay cold through the middle of the week. That will set us up for our potential winter storm. We're watching closely. Chris?
Nick, I don't know if we should thank you for that forecast or not. Well, coming up in sports, Southern has 2 games on the schedule in the final day of the Edmond Regional Festival. Plus, Pitt State is at home hosting a doubleheader against Winona State and Drury. Danny Terzer's got those highlights and more next.
This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Pitt State hosts 2 games today, first against Winona State and then against Drury. Pitt State was shut out by Winona State on Saturday. Today, Gorillas get rolling in the 3rd. Corey Stonestreet hits one over the fence in center, 2-run home run for the lead. A few batters later, Gabby Schultz knocks it deep to right center. She reaches 3rd on the play. Madison Zemansky scores. Still bottom of the 3rd here, Kiana Pellegrino rips a solo shot of her own. Pitt State scores 7 in the inning to take an 8-1 lead. Adding more for the Gorillas in the 4th. With 2 on, Keela Griffith gets a home run. And next batter up, Zemansky over the fence, down the left field line. Pitt State rolls by Winona State 13-1. In Game 2, Drury gets the best of Pitt State, winning 8-3. The Gorillas are now 7-3 on the year. They'll be back in action on Friday at the Washburn Invitational. Pitt State baseball also at home against Wayne State. The Gorillas won the first game of the series on Saturday. Bases loaded, down by 7. Cruz Aranda grounds out to 3rd, but Aaron Gertis able to score to get the Gorillas on the board. Then in the 3rd, 2 on, Jordan Maxson hits a bomb to right. Pitt trailing 8-4. In the 5th, making up some ground here, Garrett McGowan homers down the left field line. Maxson scores as well. Same inning, Cade Clemens, 3-run jack to center. 6 runs come across in the inning. Gorillas, though, still down by 3. Later, bases loaded for Travis Bailey. He gets it through down the line, good for a double. That drives in 3. Wayne State evens out the series today, winning 20-10. Missouri Southern baseball sweeps a doubleheader from Truman today to get back over 500. In Game 1, Jordan Fitzpatrick hit a walk-off home run to lift the Lions to an 8-7 win after 11 innings. Fitzpatrick went 2 for 4 with 4 RBI and 2 runs. In Game 2, Southern won 14-9. Tommy Stevenson and Clay Milas both went 3 for 4 at the plate and combined for 7 RBI. The final day of the Edmond Regional Festival, first game Lions win 8-1. Ashlyn Williams goes 4 for 4, driving in 3 runs. Kristen Wade and Adriana Young each add 2 RBI. Game 2, Southern beats East Central 10-1. Ashlyn Williams have a day. She hits a grand slam in Game 2. Adriana Young gets her first career home run as well, and Yasmin Vargas drives in 3. On Saturday, Pitt State and Missouri Southern hit the floor for the second time in a week and the final meeting of the season. In the women's game, Pitt State battled back from a 14-point halftime deficit to take Southern down to the wire. The Lions hung on to pick up their 13th straight win. Lacey Stokes dropped 36 on the night. She set the school record for most points scored in a season by a freshman. She has 454 so far this year. Jamie Jackson led the Gorillas with 23. Pitt State fans packed John Lance Arena to celebrate 4 seniors in their last home game of the year.
I thought it was great. I love that energy, and when I saw Coach David over there standing on the sideline like this, trying to get the crowd going, I even ran down the floor and I was like, "Let's go!" Like, I think it brings so much more energy, no matter where you're at in the playing game at all. So I think it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
It gets you out of your headspace.
Yeah.
Like if something's going on, I mean, you don't think about it anymore. All you do is hear that crowd, hear our fans supporting you, and you just want to play hard for them.
The Pitt State men picked up their second win in a row against Southern on Saturday. Tyler Hawkins scored a team-high 20 for the Gorillas. It's the first time this season that PSU has won back-to-back conference games. They're now 7-13 in the MIAA. Head coach Kim Anderson is pleased with what he's seen from his team this past week.
I think it was a heck of a game, but I thought we started off well. Yeah, and that's important for us because sometimes we dig ourselves in a hole. I think we're doing a way better job of guarding the ball than we were, 2 weeks ago. We're getting some guys stepping in now. RJ Lawrence is stepping in, and Magic is stepping in and playing, and guys getting a chance, taking advantage of the opportunity.
In the Big 12 on Saturday, Kansas aiming for their third straight win. Ochai Agbaji throws it down, Kansas up by 9. Later, Sean McNeil gets hot for the Mountaineers, hits the wide open 3. Then he knocks one down from the other corner. Just like that, it's a 2-point game. The Jayhawks, though, pull away once again. Agbaji in transition here, off the turnover. On the other end, gets the dunk. And back to him again. He's got 23 points tonight. This time he gets to the basket for the lay-in. Kansas wins 71-58. Also, Kansas State at Oklahoma State. We'll pick this one up at the very end. 10 seconds left in regulation. Tie game. Nigel Pack can't get the shot to fall. So in overtime, even at 79 now, Avery Anderson III knocks it down from deep for the Cowboys' lead. He scores 20 in the game. K-State with the ball now. Half-court heave. On target, but it's no good. Oklahoma State gets the OT win, 82-79. We're back after this.
A South Carolina grandfather appeared in court this weekend after his grandson took a loaded gun to school. No one was injured when the 6-year-old brought the gun to, quote, shoot zombies, but authorities say it was a close call. Shale Remine has the latest.
Your first initial appearance is April the 8th at 9 a.m. in the General Sessions courtroom.
Holding onto a cane in handcuffs, Kaleem Al-Wajid faced a judge in Lawrence County Saturday morning.
A staff member at Lawrence Elementary School discovered a loaded handgun in a classroom.
Lawrence County School District 55 held a press conference after this man's grandson brought a loaded gun to school.
Prevention begins at home.
The 6-year-old saying he wanted to, quote, shoot zombies, but thankfully no students or staff were hurt.
The bond is $40,000. This is a cash or surety bond.
Police determined Al-Wajid is at fault for the 6-year-old getting a hold of the gun. He's now facing a $40,000 bond.
I'm poverty stricken at this time. I'm on Medicare and Medicaid. I don't have access to a bond.
We hear Al-Wajid say to the judge he has animals in a pasture he needs to feed every day.
I got a lot of physical illnesses and I can't be in jail. I can't take my medicine because they say my medicine is a controlled substance. I got a lot of medicine. I got prostate cancer. I need to be out.
Okay, well, hopefully you can post bond and get that taken care of.
I mean, I ain't got nothing to post bond with, man.
The grandfather is charged with unlawful conduct toward a child in the case. Coming up, today is a very special day for pet owners in our What Day Is It segment. They are part of the family and most definitely devoted to us. And Sunday, it's our chance to show them just how important they are. It's National Love Your Pet Day. But let's be honest, for many, that's every day. Take your pup on an extra long walk or shower them with tasty treats. Give your feline friends some cuddle time. And while it is easy to bestow some extra love on your companion, Sunday's also a good day to make sure their vaccines and preventative meds are up to date. Of course, you can do that any day, and that'll help keep them healthy every day. And that's one of the best ways to take care of your fur babies. So, Cameron, I have to ask you, did you or do you have any fur babies? I do not. You do not. Did you ever when you were a kid? I did. Okay. What'd you have?
It wasn't very furry, but it was a pug.
It wasn't very, he said, not very furry, but it was a pug. Nick, did you have any fur babies? Bashan. Okay. I had several cats growing up. One too many, I think. I don't have any fur babies now. I've got children, and they take all of my time. And speaking of time, that's our time for now. We'll see you back here next weekend. Thanks for making us part of your night.